What up, my guys? Welcome to another show, man. Saturday NBA Talk with Jay, man. We here with my guy L Jizzle from H Tizzle. What's up with you, LJ? Everything cool with you, my brother?
Doing great, Jay Money. I love joining you on these Saturday shows, talking to the people, trying to get some cash. So we got one game. It's going to be a beautiful matchup. So let's get to it. See if we can break it down for the people.
Definitely gonna be a good matchup as well, man. We're gonna go ahead and go through the Sunday game as well. We do have a game 7. I had a feeling we're gonna have at least one game 7 on Sunday, man. You see what I'm saying? So gotta have the NBA, gotta have one of them game 7s on Sunday, but we got one game Saturday, Sunday, and we're gonna go ahead and talk about both of them, man. But as always, we're not here to waste the people's time, man. Let's go over here to the streets of Denver, where I'm at. Nuggets laying 4.5. There are some 5s out there as well. So depending on what side you like, obviously, I believe Jamal Murray is still questionable here. He's probably gonna play. You see what I'm saying? So if you do, it's probably gonna tick back up to 5. So if you do like the Nuggets, you can get 4.5 right now. If you do like the Wolves, you can possibly get 5. Obviously, when Murray's ruled in right before game time, it's probably gonna be 5 everywhere in this one, man. So total sitting at 208. LJ always obviously, as the playoffs get deeper and deeper into the playoffs, it's harder and harder. You see what I'm saying, to predict what's going to happen in these games. These teams are playing obviously night in and night out as well. So it's really hard, man. Especially in game 1, could be kind of like the fill out game as well. LJ, what do you like? And I got a prop. I got a real nice prop in this game, man. The people that check out the Bucket Show, they already know what I'm liking in this one. But what do you think about this? What do you think about the series? What do you think about the matchup and game 1, LJ?
Yeah, Jay, it's going to be an interesting series. Both these teams are division foes, so they know each other very well. And when I broke down all 4 games in this matchup, it was even for the most part. I leaned Nuggets to win this series, but I'm going to stay off the first game just because I want to see who feels each other out. Both teams have a nice rest advantage. Minnesota has more, but the fact that Denver took care of business versus the Lakers that day, I think they got Jamal Murray some extra rest because they couldn't afford to lose that game going back to LA for a game 6 and not have the rest, for us going into this matchup with Minnesota, because Minnesota took care of business early, got the Suns out the way 4 straight. So they chilling, waiting, waiting for the Nuggets to see what they were going to do. So far as that, I believe it's pretty much even as well. And the total at 208 was very interesting to me too, Jay, because 3 out of the 4 games went over 208.5. And I think it's a pretty low number. So I would lean over as well, simply because of how both these teams shot field goal percentage and 3-point percentage in those 4 games. So if they can continue to shoot 30 to 40% from the free 3-point line, that total should be around like 215, around close under 220. So I'm looking for that to see how that's going to fill out as well. But I lean Denver. I broke down the matchups. Rebounds. It's going to come down to rebounds, Jay. Just like Minnesota took care with the Suns. They hit them on the boards. They got them with points in the paint, and they got them with the fast break points off turnovers. Those are the things that's going to be contributing to this series as well, because Denver is +4 on the offensive rebounds in the 4 games. So they control the boards versus this team. But Karl Anthony Towns didn't play 3 of those games. He only played 1. So I think that's going to make a difference too, that extra body in the lane to keep Denver dominating the boards. Both these teams rebound very, very well. I think that's where the matchup is going to be. As far as points in the paint, Denver as well. Can Minnesota keep Denver out of the paint? Make them shoot jumpers. Make them beat you from the perimeter, because if you let them get those easy bucket, second chance points in the paint, offensive rebounds, putbacks, it's going to be hard to beat that team. So all that said, I lean Denver, but I didn't take a side. I just wanted to see you feel out. This is a divisional game, like I said. Both these teams know each other. So I believe it will be a close matchup. But the team total for Minnesota, I was looking at 2J, 102. I think that's pretty low, man, because Minnesota has played 57 games versus the Western Conference this year. They only didn't score 102 points 4 times. So I think the bookies are expecting them to be a defensive game, half court, not a lot of fast break up and down. So they're probably simulating that it's going to be a low-scoring game, considering game 1, seeing how they're going to fill out. I don't think so much. I think that one of these teams are going to try to get the lead real quick to get out at an early pace. Probably, like I said, hitting threes, try to get a substantial lead throughout the game to keep the other team at bay. Because if these two teams are close coming down the stretch, either one can win the game. But all that said, man, I lean Nuggets, but I didn't make a play. But I got 2 props in the game. So,
what you like? Shit, let us know.
Well, number 1, we're going to go with Jamal Murray, man. I got his over 6.5 assists. I see it's at minus 150 now. I took it early. It was minus 140. It is juice, but hey, sometimes, like I said, man, the juice is worth the squeeze simply because Minnesota is very vulnerable.
Hey,
when it comes to the assists. Yes, it is. The juice is worth the squeeze, man. Sometimes it's worth it. The bookies know if you're not scared to take a minus 40, which I'm not, because my numbers say that this number is going to hit. Jamal Murray over 6.5 assists. The Wolves played the Suns 5 games, Jay. Booker had at least 6 assists 3 out of those 5 games. The last 5 games before the playoffs, Van Fleet had 5. Booker had 13. Russell had 11. Murray had 6. And Trae Young had 7. So I believe that this over 6.5 assists is going to hit simply because Minnesota has been giving up this average this whole month of April versus all the teams that they played. So that's one of my props. Jamal Murray over 6.5 assists. And I'm going to take Jokic 2+ steals, minus 126. Simply because the last 10 games that the Wolves have played versus centers, they're averaging 2+ steals. You got Nurkic would have 3. Davis had 2. Jokic had 3 the last game versus Minnesota. So in all those playoffs games that Minnesota played versus the Suns, Jokic had 2+ steals, 4 out of 4. The game they played before the playoff. They played them right before the playoff. So all those games, Nurkic had 2+ steals, 4 out of those 5 games. So I think that's a great look. Jokic 2+ steals, minus 126. And I'm taking Jamal Murray over 6.5 assists.
Yeah, I would be interested to see who they're gonna put on Jamal Murray because I was like Conley. I mean, he's a good guy. He's a good offensive guy, but they need him to be there offensively. Like he can't be getting in foul trouble going up against Murray. Be interested to see who they're going to put up against him. Obviously, I mean, you got to see who Jaden McDaniels is going to be on as well. If I'm them, I'm putting Jaden McDaniels on Murray. That's who I'm putting on Murray, and like that's going to be a tough matchup for Murray there. Like remember, Jaden McDaniels is like when he got his contract, a lot of people was like, man, who the hell is this guy? This guy don't deserve 160 million. Jay McDaniels is that guy. He's an absolute defensive stopper. This is a really great matchup. And I think this might be a tough matchup for the Nuggets, man. Obviously, they play really well at the house. They do have the offensive smarts, probably have the better coach. And we got to remember, Wolves coach, he can't really move around like that on the sidelines as well. He has an injury over there. So that might be something to look for. But this is going to be a lot tougher because I do think that Rudy Gobert can own the paint. Like it's going to be a little bit tougher for Jokic down low on getting the boards and a little bit scoring as well. Now, when it comes to outside the paint, like obviously Jokic is going to try to keep that. It's going to be interesting to see what they try to do there because Gobert is best by the basket. He's not really like they can't really have him guarding Jokic on the perimeter where he's not defending the paint. You see what I'm saying? Because then Aaron Gordon is going to absolutely feast. But it's going to be a really good matchup to see what these guys do. But the Nugget, 2 teams are basically facing up against like a totally different team than what they just went up against. You see what I'm saying? The Lakers were a little bit more deeper. They have some defensive guys, but nobody that was really just like lockdown defenders. Jamal Murray could do whatever he wanted to. Jokic, we know he kind of owns Anthony Davis. Now it's going to be a little bit tougher for Jokic, in my opinion, dealing with Rudy Gobert. Jamal Murray probably going to have to deal with Jaden McDaniels. But these guys also have Naz Reid coming off the bench. Remember, the Lakers didn't have anybody that could really stretch the floor big like that could really expose the Nuggets because the Nuggets don't really have a forward coming off the bench. Remember, they're going with Christian Braun. They're going with guys like whenever DeAndre Jordan get in there, I'm not worried about him whatsoever. But Peyton Watson as well. None of those guys can stay with Naz Reid in this one, man. I'm taking Naz Reid over his 12.5 PRA. This one started out at minus 120. It's juiced up to like minus 150, minus 160 now. I still like Naz Reid, even if you wanted to take like an alternate, a 14 plus. I think this series, like the X factor is Naz Reid coming off the bench. You want to be 6th man of the year? Well, you got to go out here and show it, in my opinion, man. And obviously he can hit threes. He can get rebounds as well. This is a really good matchup for Naz Nas Reed on the perimeter. Now, it's a lot of different ways you can look at it. His threes are at over 1.5 at -105. I don't think that he probably gets this if he doesn't hit 2 threes, to be perfectly honest with you. His points is at 8.5 as well. I don't think that he gets to this if he doesn't get to 10 points. You see what I'm saying? So there's a lot of different ways that you can attack this. Obviously, he is a bench player, but I think Nas Reed has to play at least 30 minutes in this particular series here. Karl-Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert, and Nas Reed are the three. Those are the three matchups where they can kind of sort of exploit the Nuggets' weakness. You see what I'm saying? That's just my opinion. So we're gonna see. But that 12.5, if Nas Reed has a really great game in game one, which I expect him to do, you're not gonna see that prop there that low anymore, in my opinion, man. So whether it's his points, whether it's his threes or his PRA, you could take points and rebounds at 11.5, whatever you like. I like Nas Reed coming off the bench to be the X factor for this Minnesota Timberwolves team. We know these starting fives can bang with each other, but I think Nas Reed coming off the bench has a major advantage. If Peyton Watson is guarding him, if DeAndre Jordan is guarding him, I mean, they might even have to try and play Zeke Naji in this game, but the Nuggets are going to have to try to find that size off the bench to go up against Nas Reed, because my guy is like, I think he's like 6'10", 6'11", you see what I'm saying? And he can shoot threes and stretch the floor. So he's going to be a really important piece for the Nuggets there, but I mean, for the Wolves going up against the Nuggets, but it's going to be such a great matchup, man. Watching Gobert, Towns go up against Gordon and Jokic as well, man. So, and who they going to put on Anthony Edwards as well? Maybe KCP. You know what I'm saying? But KCP getting up there, a little up there in age, man. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do against Anthony Edwards. They might have to try to double team him, because if he's comfortable and doing whatever the hell he wants on offense, like, I mean, watch out, man. My guy looked like Michael Jordan Jr. out there now. But like I said, both teams are going to be in for it, because this isn't the Suns' defense here. The Nuggets can actually lock up and play some really great defense, and you're playing in altitude, and you're playing against a team that plays really great at the house as well. So I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't really like to take teams that's coming off of a sweep, because shit was easy for you. You see what I'm saying? Now shit's getting a little hard right there, man. But obviously on the other end, the Nuggets, even though they kind of struggle with the Lakers, this Timberwolves team is going to bring a lot more physicality, a lot more a defensive prowess as well than the Lakers did. You see what I'm saying? And they have the offense as well, offensive guys as well. But the same thing with the Nuggets. They're going up against a much better defense here, especially like with Rudy Gobert down there. Them rebounds not going to be that easy for Jokic. Now they got to guard Karl-Anthony Towns, a 7-footer that can shoot on the wing. And like I say, Nas Reed coming off the bench can really be a problem for the Nuggets. I'm interested to see if they're going to play Zeke Naji or DeAndre Jordan. But I think regardless, Nas Reed is going to have his way with either one of those guys coming off the bench. He is the X factor for the Timberwolves here. So stand off aside here. To be honest with you, I do lean Wolves like +1.5 for the series, to be perfectly honest with you. I think that they have a puncher's chance to win this series, but +1.5 for the series. I mean, I like that. I like that for the Wolves. But obviously, if they lose game one, their price is going to get a lot better. You'll be able to get +1.5 on the series at plus money, or maybe even a +2.5 at like -140. You see what I'm saying? So it could be one of those where you take, if you like the Wolves in the series, you take them, put some on them in game one plus the points, and then if they lose, their price is going to get even better, so you can kind of split your units up. But I think the Wolves might be able to, they match up really well versus the Nuggets. They're one of the few teams in the West that match up really well with them, LJ. But Nas Reed over 12.5 PRA for me, I like that one the best, but there's a lot of different ways you can attack it. You could take his over 1.5 threes, you could take his over 8.5 points, you could take his points and rebounds over 11.5. I think he cashed every one of them. What do you, any other thoughts on this game, my brother, before we get to that game 7?
No, man, I like everything you said, Jay. Nas Reed could be an X factor coming off the bench, because Denver's going to try to have to find a matchup, versus him. He's very athletic, like you say, he can stretch the floor. He could be a problem for him. But like, if Minnesota can get the turnovers, man, if they can lock down and make Denver turn the ball over, that, like you say, they have a real chance to win this series, because that was the issue in the 4 games. Denver gave up 19 points off turnovers. Minnesota only gave up 12. So, that's the difference right there. If Denver don't turn the ball over, they should be primed to have an advantage. But it's going to come down to that. Whoever makes the mistakes and capitalizes off the mistakes for the most part.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Yeah, Michael Porter Jr. as well. Got to watch out for him. He was balling versus them Lakers as well. Shout out to my guy Mo with the $20 tip in the chat as well, man. But yeah, it's gonna be a really great chess matchup as well. I can't wait to watch this go back and forth. I do think this series goes back and forth the whole time. That's why I do feel like before I would just take Wolves straight up in the series, I just take them +1.5. That way, I mean, if you taking the series price +1.5 and it goes 7, you already won. You dig what I'm saying? Like it doesn't matter who wins that game 7. You already won, man. But I like Nas Reed. I think it's a really good matchup for him in this one. It'd be interesting to see if they put Jaden McDaniels on Jamal Murray. I really think they could throw shit off because my guy is an absolute lockdown defender out there, my guy. But yeah, really going to be a great matchup. See who they put on Michael Porter Jr. Can't wait to watch this game, man. I'm not going to lie to you, man. But Nas Reed, that's what I'm liking in this. So I think it's a really great matchup. I'd be really surprised if he didn't go over his 12.5 PRA. He should get that with points alone, but we'll see his usage, see if he can come to play. And he did all 3 games that he played versus the Nuggets this year. I know that there was regular season. He did go over 12.5 points, rebounds, assists in all 3 games that he played versus the Nuggets. So might just be a bad matchup for the Nuggets there. Let's go over to Sunday, man. Game 7, Cavs laying 3.5 at the house versus the Magic, getting 3.5 on the road, man. Really, the home team has won every single series. I expect it to continue here, LJ. Cavs money line for me, my guy. The Magic are a great team. I like what I see from them. Next year they'll be even better, but this team does somewhat struggle sometimes on the offensive end, and they kind of scared me last night. I was on the Magic. They scare me. Donovan Mitchell doing whatever the fuck he want. They getting into the paint every single time. The Magic were kind of struggling. Like when they're not hitting their shots, when they're not hitting their outside shots, the Magic are done. You see what I'm saying? I expect Jared Allen to come back in this game. Absolute must-win game. Cavs get out of the first round this year. They're not getting past that, but I do expect them to get out of the first round. Game 7, I will trust the home team at the house. I got a little sum on the 3.5 as well, but my main play is Cavs on the money line. I just win, baby. Let's get this win, man. Cavaliers for me. Mitchell did kind of hurt his little hammy out there. You see what I'm saying? But he should be good to go in this one. But the main thing is Jared Allen, because the Magic were getting at the paint a little bit too easy, to be honest with you. They're gonna need Jared Allen. He did go through shooting around yesterday. I expect him to play in this big game, even if his ribs are hurting. Get that cortisone shot. Do whatever you got to do, man. This is an absolute must win. You got to put all your chips into the basket, all in type of spot for the Cavs here. I think they get the job done, LJ. Any thoughts on this Magic Cavs game? Total has went down 5 points for this game 7. We know that those can usually be some really defensive games.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Cavs to win, especially Jerry Allen back in that lineup. He controls the paint, and Orlando's not going to be able to get in the paint like they've been doing if Jared Allen is in there. So I'm definitely with you on that. Cavs win at home. This was the zigzag series as we predicted. Every home team would win. So it's going to come down to game 7. Orlando's, I think, is just too young to go into a hostile environment and win a game 7. I think they would shock us if they did that. You know, I really believe the Cavs are going to take care of business. Donovan Mitchell played his heart out last game. He had 50. You know, that 3 at the end, I was still scared of the spread for a minute.
Yeah. Now, because look, if I don't know what you had 3, because it was at 3.5 at one point, it closed at 4.5. Garland had a chance to hit the over and to cover that 4.5 if he made that 3 in the final seconds. But Garland played like ass. I expect him to play. I expect Donovan Mitchell not to have that good of a game, because something I noticed when players go for a game like that, they're like a little gas the next game. Tyrese May, it happened to Maxey. It happens usually in the regular season as well. You don't usually see guys go for 40, 45, 50, and then duplicate that the next game. So I expect Mitchell to still have like a good 28, 30, but I expect Garland to really show out at the house, just like he did in game 5. He had I think he had like 14 or 16 points in the first quarter. I expect Garland, and I mean, fuck, man, this motherfucker, Max Strus, El Jizzle. What the hell has happened to him, bro? Damn, my guy. He's just out there, bro. Like, get some assists or rebounds or something, bro. He came there to shoot threes, and he's not making them. And I'm really worried about Strus, because they're gonna need his ass, man. They're gonna need it, man. He gonna have to get out there on the floor at like 1 o'clock. You have to get out there 4 hours early, man, and get some shots up, bro. Damn, that's what they brought you over here for. It's what you get paid $60 million for, man. But I expect Garland. The role player is going to play a lot better at the house, in my opinion, man. I'm rocking with the Cavs here. With you know what I'm saying? I'm living with the results, regardless of what happens in this one, man. So, any props that you might be looking at in this one, LJ?
No, I didn't get to any props on this one because, like I mentioned, Jared Allen has been out. So when he comes back into that lineup, it's going to be a different feel for me. So I'm just going to probably just sprinkle on money line with the Cavs and just leave it at that, because they should win this game. Like you just mentioned, role players play better. Strus. They even bring in Morris in the lineup right now.
Morris,
they're hampering. So if they can get double digits for at least 4 players in the starters, Mobley, Strus, Garland, like you say, Mitchell could come back down to maybe high 20s, maybe. They should be able to win the game because I don't think Orlando's going to have that depth and that production with all those players. Because when they go on the road, it's only maybe like 2 players that give you double figures, and the rest of them are just there trying to scramble. So I believe the fact they have to go on the road game 7 is going to be too hostile for them. So Cavs should take care of business.
Yeah, Gary Harris hurt his hamstring as well, man. So you might expect, the game is at 1 p.m. Eastern. So, Stroosh, you're going to have to get your ass out there at 7 o'clock in the morning, man. Do what you got to do, man. But Orlando has covered 4 straight in this series. I think the Cavs even covered a 3.5. It's really tough. Like when you cover 3 or 4 straight in the playoffs, it's really tough to keep duplicating it. I think the Cavs even win this game, even covered a 3.5 as well. But just to look at some props, they are going to need Cole Anthony to play a little bit more, with them likely missing Gary Harris. He's not out for sure, but he did miss the yesterday's game with a hamstring. And if he missed that one, that kind of tells me that the hamstring might really be hurt. So look for Cole Anthony to probably get at least a little bit more minutes, a little bit more run, him and Markelle Fultz. But this game is on the road. I'm rocking with the Cavs in this one on the money line, and I'll have a little something on the -3.5 as well. Like I said, Magic covered 4 straight. I don't see that continuing in this one. I do think the Cavs finally get out of the first round in this one, man. Mitchell, he had that look in his eye last night, like let's fucking go, bro. Let's go. I can't lose this series. I don't really have much of a legacy, but whatever legacy I do have is on the line right now. Garland and the boys, Jared Allen, they know it's at stake, man. Absolute must-win spot. I'll rock with the Cavs in this one with confidence. LJ, let's get out of here, my brother. What you liking for this Saturday? Whatever you like, my brother. Let the people know, my brother.
Hey, man, I just took a couple of props, man. I lean Denver, but like I said, I didn't play the game. I just want to see how they respond at home versus a division foe that they've had trouble with, the past couple of games. So I'm just going to stick to the props, man. We're going to take Jamal Murray over 6.5 assists simply because the last 10 games for the Minnesota Wolves, they've allowed the point guard to average 7 assists. And I'm going to take Jokic 2+ steals because the last 10 games, the Wolves have allowed the center position to average at least 2+ steals. So those are 2 I got today. I think it should be good money. And we'll just sit back and watch the game, man. And we'll see if Denver take care of business or if the Wolves can come in game 1 and shock the world, man. We'll see what happens.
I wouldn't be surprised what either happened. I wish the Wolves weren't coming off of a sweep, and I would definitely take them in game 1 because it's going to be a shock to both teams. This isn't the Suns that you're facing versus the Wolves, and then for the Wolves, and this ain't the Lakers as well that you're facing up against. So, and we did one thing that does worry me a little bit about Denver. We know that they were the much better team, and every single game they had to basically come back and win versus the Lakers. So that's, in my opinion, that's not a good sign because we know LeBron was doing his thing, Anthony Davis, but like now they have shown that even though they get down 22, they can come back and win. So that does show like some championship heart. But the fact that you even got down 22 to the Lakers, like it's just not a good sign. Like usually the Nuggets come out and smack teams in the mouth early and then just, just keep smacking them. The fact that they had to come back. And remember, the Lakers were an older team as well. Wolves might not run out of gas in that altitude. They got some young
2
guns
players
over there.
Basically giving you the production.
Facts. That's
LeBron and Davis. You got way more production on the Wolves.
That's
people that can come in there and give you production. So
great
point.
Yeah, if the Wolves lose this game, I'm telling you right now, right after the game, I'm taking Wolves. I already put a little something on them, +1.5 for the series. But that one's like at -135. So at one point, I got a few tickets on it because I think it was like -115, and then it went up to like -140. But if they lose this game, you'll be able to get +1.5 at plus money. Or if you could take +2.5 for the series. So that's something I'm looking for. I do feel like the Wolves can give the Nuggets a handful, and this shit might go 7 games, to be perfectly honest with you, man. But they definitely, if they want to win this series, they got to win one of these games on the road. Really great matchup. Can't wait to watch the chess match, you know what I'm saying, in this one. But I think it might be howling with the Wolves when it's all said and done. We're rocking with Naz Reid tonight, over 12.5 PRA. If you like, you could take his points and rebounds. You could take his points over 8.5. I think it's going to be hard for him to get over that PRA if he doesn't score 10+ points in this one, man. You see what I'm saying? And his threes is at 1.5 as well. He's going to need that as well because that's his main advantage. Stay out there on the perimeter, hit them corner threes. You got to get a few boards as well, but a really tough matchup for the Nuggets, who don't really have a guy coming off the bench that can match up with Naz Reid in this one, man. So if you really are the 6th man of the year, come and show me in this whole series, not for just this game. He is the X factor for the Wolves here. We know that these starting fives can bang with each other. this series is going to be won by the bench, in my opinion. And Naz Reid is the biggest X factor, the biggest mismatch that the Wolves have coming off the bench. So let's see what happens tonight. That PRA is a tad too low, in my opinion. I think it should be like 15.5, to be honest with you, man. So we'll see what happens. But I'm rocking with Naz Reid in this game, man. That's what I'm liking. And I'm rocking with the Cavs tomorrow, man, with confidence. You see what I'm saying? So we appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. If you like the show, if you appreciate the Saturday show, man, me and my guy LJ taking time out of our day to do this show for you guys. It's all free. It's all free over there at Action Network as well, man. Go download the app. There's plenty of guys. They're betting series price. They're betting people betting like who gonna have the most rebounds, who gonna have the most assists in the series at like plus 700. We got WNBA podcasts and shit coming up over there. They got shit going for the Kentucky Derby. Whatever you like to bet, there's plenty of free content over there at Action Network app, man. So like I said, I mean, you can pay for picks if you want, but there's plenty of the outlets that you can go out there and find free picks and allow you to make some money, my guys. It's even more profit for you, man. So we appreciate y'all for tuning in. Hope y'all have a great day, great weekend. Let's get some cash. Let's smack these motherfucking bookies up. And I appreciate you, LJ, for coming on as well. And some people be asking, where can they find you, LJ?
Oh, man, I'm at LJ Sports Media on Twitter. That's how y'all can find me. So hit me up. I'll respond to anybody, very transparent. I'll give you my plays, give you what I'm looking at. I'm not trying to charge nobody. I'm not in the business of charging people for picks. We're trying to smack the bookies. So let's all get this money.
Yes, sir. Go hit up LJ, man, right now on Twitter. So the people that's been looking for him, go follow him. Go send my guy a DM on Twitter at LJ Sports Media, man. It's all love. Y'all have a great day. Smack the bookies up. Great weekend. Man, we out, my guys. Let's go. Come on.
Go,
Go, baby.